Hello there, good folks of Illinois, congregated today to spend some time talking about our wonderful friend Tim Guthrie. And I do thank the church for helping Caddy and Brian and everybody else to get this together. It was a lot of work. Uh, Tim and I are very close, very close. I'm going to talk quite a bit about Tim. But uh, Tim did so many things really, really well. Really well. Did things really, really well. So I'm going to start at the other end and tell you something he did that was just absolutely, basically a failure. It was just, he knew how to do it, but he wouldn't do it. And it got frustrating. And what I'm talking about is Tim's writing letters to his friends. I probably got a letter every 10 years from Tim. And I told him if I got another one, I was going to laminate it and frame it. And he gets on me because he has to buy address books because I wear out his books by having to move so many times. His B is always empty. So, but truth aside, the reason I brought this failure up of the handwritten letters, there's really a story behind it, and that's that. First of all, I'm sure everybody here knows that we're Christians, like most of the people here. But Tim and I, as we matured, time for this and time for that. And anyway, one day in my early 30s, I got a letter from Tim, and the letter that Tim wrote, it started out like, Daryl, I got something I want to say. I don't want you to think it's weird. I've never done it before, but I just feel that we're such special friends. I just want to tell you, man to man, that I love you and I love our relationship and hope that it lasts a long, long time. That still breaks my heart when I think of it. You know, a great guy like that sending me such a tender note. Tim, being as popular as he was best man 4 times. This is quite a bit about the respect that his friends had for him. However, when he got married, I was his best man. And that's something that always brings a smile to me. If I'm having a bad day, just pat my chest and say, Tim wouldn't be mad at me. But Tim has had some remarkable experiences with the Lord, and every conversation we have, we pretty much discuss the Lord, what the Lord's doing with us this week, or how has the Lord directed us to do something to help somebody, and that's pretty regular. I know that Tim, he shares often. I know a great number of his friends, but mine, he knows very few because I've moved in so many states and towns over the years. But one thing that would, I can't say hurt his feelings, but disappointed him when he had good friends that he would talk to about the Lord, the church, the Bible, and he was upset with himself more than anybody else. Upset that he wasn't being able to evangelize some of these people that he knew well, and he knew how much better their life would be So uh, Tim and Patty, they have a lot of indicators in their home that there's a lot of good fruit there. Good tree, good fruit. Bad tree, bad fruit. Tim and Patty have lots of good fruit. Um, they both, well, I mean, he had a great career job. Tim sold millions and millions of dollars of electric components. His wife was a techie. Uh, they moved from Chicago down to Albuquerque and back, and they've always had a good church. A lot of people who would pray with them and love with them. Uh, you need to know that if you don't already know, if you're having a bad day, bad evening, call Tim, call Patty. They'll pray with you right there on the phone. I'm so happy that Tim is happy. He deserves to be happy, as does Patty. One of the gifts, the good fruit. The good fruit is that Tim loves to fish. He has to do quite a few, as I understand. However, Tim has a wife who loves to fish. And they changed with the Lord's help, they changed where they lived, how they lived. And now they get to go up to Canada every summer, spend most of the summer there, have a lot of friends that come up and fish with them. They have good fellowship. It's a big undertaking, but the Guthries are so generous with their time, their talents. As I got to go fishing up there once. Pretty much always was somewhere else in the summertime. But my dad went and my boys went, and it was a wonderful time. At the end of the week, we had a fish fry and again a lot of fellowship. Everybody in a good mood. I forget who it was, but somebody was taking that video all evening. And Tim had little prizes for who caught the biggest fish, who caught the most fish, who caught the biggest walleye, who got the biggest pike. And he's running out of these little things to give people as an accomplishment. And so when it came around to me, my record is still unbeaten. Yep. Guy who doesn't know how to fish at all. My award was for losing the most fishing lures. So it's really easy to do. It's a little bit expensive. So while we're here discussing such things, I'd like to talk to you about spiritual gifts. Tim, most of the people I know that trust in the Lord to a great degree know their spiritual gift. And then you can see it, how other people use their gift. My gift's exhortation. I'm a cheerleader. I go to my boys' basketball games. I yell louder than anybody, right? Go Forest. Go, go. Hands up. Run faster. I was encouraging. But what I did not do, nobody, no referee, no coach, no other team ever heard me yell and be an idiot out there when the kids are trying to have fun. So that's a bad way to use your gift. A good way to use your gift is learning to see opportunities to help other people. This is one of the biggest spiritual advancements I've ever made in my spiritual life. I was early 30s when I found out my gift, and I looked and like, wow, I had that for 30. That's how I acted 30 years ago. And uh, so after I knew that, then I was able to uh, use it. I just find myself with so many more opportunities, helping somebody carry something, help somebody that's lost, whatever. Uh, Tim's gift is service. Now, those are the people who get a lot done. Tim's the one that'll come up here and mow the yard on Saturday so the church looks nice the next day. He'll mow the yard another time if you're having a funeral or such. But he really gets a lot done, and sometimes it takes a lot of his time, but he still goes home and do it. He's blessed many people with his gift. Uh, so we did a lot of things together. We did a lot of road trips and such things. Um, One summer, we got to go with Tim's brother-in-law and his brother-in-law's friend to super modified races. That's they're short little vehicles with a big motor. They ride on clay, which becomes big hard clumps as the race goes on. But Tim's brother-in-law, they just blessed us so we didn't pay for one meal, we didn't pay for one Coke. They paid the motel, they bought the food, and it was just a great summer that we had together. So uh, one thing that I like to that reminds me a lot of Tim and Patty is that we as Christians are to help the widows and the orphans. This is important. And right now in the Guthrie's life, it's really a lot more important. When you go, well, they don't have orphans. Well, they really kind of do. Tim has twice joined into the program of Big Brother. He took some young men in, some boys, and taught them about the Lord, and did athletics with them, took them hunting and fishing like he did with his own son. So the point I really want to make is the widow, which we all know is Patty. Everybody here loves Patty. Patty is really a friendly person. Matter of fact, when my wife and I got married, Tim and Patty came to see us 3 days into our honeymoon. So I love Tim and Patty, and of course my wife, but because they met Liz on that third day, and it's like they'd been best friends for 20 years. They just loved on her, and it's still that way. We really don't talk like I don't talk to Tim and she calls Patty. It's usually always four people talking at the same time. But Patty's going to need some caring, This is a huge thing. We all know what a great guy Tim is. Now Patty's got to come home to an empty house. I know she's got her dog. I'm sure the dog misses Tim too. But, some of you ladies from the church, make sure you engage her. She's got a weird schedule sometimes. But, women's night out, or go out for pizza, or go make a quilt together. Just include Patty. The grieving process, everybody's a little different, but still people grieve for quite some time when they have a loss this big. And I just would pray that you would be taking care of Patty. By the way, to get off subject, Patty is one tough lady. Funny. I was standing beside her, and this horse that weighed over 600 pounds stomped on her foot. And she was going, oh, ow, 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 but not a tear. She wasn't whining. But I guess it's real painful. I've never had that happen. she had her chickens and their quails under program. Uh, Brian, boy, I met Brian when he was like 8 years old, and I bought Brian a little army knife, Swiss Army knife, a little red one, and Tim said that Tim was going down to the barber shop, and Brian was stopping men that he didn't know and go, hey, 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 mister, look at my knife, look at my knife, I just got it. So I thought that was kind of cool. I gave a life to Brian on his 21st birthday. Is that right, Brian? Is that right? 21st? It's when we were going to Canada, and I had taken PVC pipe, thick, Schedule 80, weld them together, had a battery pack with taped on it, had wires coming out of it, and a half a mile before we got to the border, Tim pulled over and said, I'm not going through customs with this, you know. I'm not going to lose all summer because you do, you know, something wrong. And anyway, we had no trouble getting it through, but it took took Brian about 30 minutes to open it. There's a video of it somewhere. It was pretty hilarious, but it was a very thing that. So another, we've gone to. We went to Florida spring break, and Tim's Barracuda, red Barracuda, 383 hatchback, great car. I've never seen Tim afraid of anything. And that night, they couldn't get to sleep in the back of the Barracuda. Tim and Danny, a friend of ours who died a couple years later. And so I went out and took a walk for about 45 minutes and came back, and the door wouldn't open. And so I started pounding on it, and then Tim, he was sleeping, but came up. I said, I lost your key. I said, no. He opened the door, and he's got rope tied all over the front and the back, the gear shift knob and the seat belts and the windows. He's got all wrapped up. I go, what the heck are you doing here? Are you locking me out for the night? Or nope. While they were asleep, Tim and Danny, some drunk came and jumped up on the car and started jumping up and down and cussing and swearing and say he was going to kill them. And the only thing we thought of maybe was some drunk who thought that they were gay because there were two men in there. But it was a scary time. But it's just one of those things. And so Tim, he has he's always has good dogs. I always like his dogs. But Tim has he's done well for himself. God's blessed him in different ways. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about the spiritual gifts, and hope that maybe it might help you. I hardly ever do this, but please, for Tim, to do this for me. This is real simple. Just, if you know your zodiac sign, Gemini or Taurus, raise your hand. Just raise your hand. 2 or 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Put it down. Now, how many of you know your spiritual gift? Hands up. Wow. It's a lot lower number. I know that. And it's not uncommon. I really would like to convince you that learning about your spiritual gift, using your spiritual gift, it's going to bless others, and it's going to bless you. And the older you get, the wiser you get, the easier you get to talking with people. The Lord's going to give you so many opportunities. And when I think of Tim and all the good things that him and Patty have done with Brian, one thing that, like the good fruit, fishing, that was a good fruit. As a matter of fact, I personally believe that there's a lot of envious men out there because Tim has a wife who will go with him fishing anytime, anywhere. So, but Sorry, I'm holding on here. Uh, so, what I am going to ask you to do, and again, this is for Tim, not for Daryl. Tim and your pastor or your deacons. But maybe have a class here at the church on spiritual gifts. You can take a test online. It's like 30 or 40 minutes. But it would just bless a lot of people and all of you as well. When Tim went through the spiritual gifts, and we were thinking maybe the church family could have a little tribute for Tim. There's just a lot of things that could be done in a church this size, just a lot of things. You know, there's seniors, there's juniors, there's little kids. But if you were to use your spiritual gift and again, help somebody paint, help watch the dog, all that, and you start growing that, maybe you could have a Tim Guthrie day where you go out and pick up the litter on the highway, or you help somebody make a quilt. But it would just be so much of a blessing for Tim and his family. And that's about pretty much all I have to say. It's wonderful to be such a good friend of Tim. People say that there's no good time for bad news. Well, I think I'll mention to you, but you got bad, mad, and sad. And we're all sad, but we're glad. We're glad because we know where Tim is. Patty knows where Tim is. The church family knows where he is. So he's blessed my life many times over. Being his best man was one of the biggest emotional things I've ever had given to me. So just give Brian and Patty lots of good hugs today. Make them a promise you'll be seeing them pretty soon. Love y'all. Brothers and sisters. Love them. Be nice to them.